Good afternoon, everybody. It is Tuesday. It is 1 o'clock. We are on Never Mind the Buy Box this afternoon. I am joined by Craig, who this is your inaugural. This is your first time on Never Mind the Buy Box. So thanks very much for dropping by.
Big debut.
Yeah, really looking forward to this. We've got a little bit of a different chat with Craig because you do things a little bit differently. And, you know, it's something that I know a few people in this audience have been kind of wanting to find out a little bit about yourself, your journey and everything like that. So just let us know if you can see and hear us okay. For anyone that's jumping on, we'll just wait a few minutes before we dive into the, into the bones of everything. As always, I forget to log into my comments because it's so annoying because it doesn't give you the names of anyone. And I hate saying Facebook user, but it looks like we've gone live in most areas. Yeah, a few comments already. So hi, Jamie. Hi, Jay. Hi, Joe. Oh, Jamie, Jay and Joe. Hi, Matt. A few people jumping on now, which is good. Carl says he's got us. That's brilliant. Thanks for letting me know. If you are watching on YouTube, can you let us know if you can see us and hear us? That would be great. Hi, Florin, Pardeep. Hi, everyone. Lindsay. Seb's joined us as well. So they're all piling in now, which is good. Just give it a few minutes.
There's YouTube and Facebook. They're all different, I think. So
yeah, they're all different. We stream in 2 Facebook groups and also on Never Mind the Buy Box YouTube channel as well. So it takes a few seconds for all the notifications to go out. Thank you for confirming, guys. Really appreciate it. Ben's joined us as well. So how is it going, everyone? Let us know in the comments. Just give us some likes and loves just so we can, or angry faces. We don't mind. If you're not in a particularly good mood, feel free to share your rage. So give us those likes and loves just so we can send out that notification to let everybody know that we are live. Who else have we got here? YouTube is good. Thank you. Really much appreciate it. So just before we jump in, just let us know how we're getting on, guys, because we spoke about it last week. There's been a little bit of a kind of lull at the back end of February in terms of sales. I think most people are experiencing it. I know you've got different types of physical selling businesses, Craig, so I don't know if that's something that's impacted you over the last couple of weeks as well.
Bit of both. The usual FBA drop-offs back end of the year, start of the year, so to say.
Yeah.
But as of drop shipping side of it, it seems to be doing probably one of the better ones we've had, to be fair, in recent years.
Yeah, it's been a weird start to the year. I think most people did not really anticipate how good the start of the year is going to be. We had some people in the group that were actually posting better Januaries than they were Decembers, through to various different reasons. And I think it was because there had been so much talk about all the doom and gloom, that we were going to expect the country was going to collapse, as soon as we got past kind of December 31st, 2022. Yes, there is a lot of problems, but it hasn't really materialized as yet. And it's certainly not come through into the e-com sort of selling space for a lot of people as yet that we're seeing. So overall, yeah, Jay saying sales are back on track. Mark's joined us as well. Hi, Marta. Hi, Vlad. So yeah, I think it was a little bit of a blip. And I was talking about this with someone earlier, actually, in terms of February's one of those really weird months, depending on what you sell. Because for me, I think it's the worst month in the year due to you automatically lose 10% of the month due to the fact that it's a shorter month anyway as well. But also at the same time, you get that kind of Valentine's Day peak in there. And what can happen, it can really give the impression of, the third week in February after Valentine's Day looks a bit crappy because there's been a massive spike due to people buying Valentine's Day products and things like that. But if you didn't have that massive spike, overall it would stay quite even. So just letting people know of that. So third week in February is always going to be crap, to be perfectly honest. But now
you don't tend to find that people, for instance, like FBA and stuff, a lot of people panic. So if they've not sold it at Christmas, they rinse all the stock through in January thinking, I need to get all my cash back, but then they don't account for the 2-3 weeks, buy in once they've got the money back and get money back into FBA, or for instance. So I always find that the start of Feb is a bit of a lull because people are just, I don't know, probably getting to grips and reaccounting for rebalancing the books and stuff, and then buying the fresh stock. So there's always a bit of a dead patch.
I think so, definitely. I would say, you know, for us, you know, across the board, probably February's the worst month of the year in terms of sales, apart from on the private label side of things, which have just absolutely exploded at the moment. But yeah, I'm trying to find I always try and find a lot of sense in things, and sometimes I can't. But overall, the first 6 weeks of the year, I think for the majority of people, 6 to 7 weeks of the year has been phenomenal. So really, really pleased. Like I said, people are confirming sales have been back on track as well. So I think we're all good, guys. We're all good, because it's only going to get better now between kind of March and June, depending on what you're selling. So you guys should be all clear to go to be able to start, you know, pumping in you know, some of the stuff that we start to see now for the really nice lift of demand for Easter goods. Dan says sales for costumes have been through the roof with World Book Day coming, a lot better than Halloween. Absolutely. It was probably me that bought it, because I panic bought my daughter's World Book Day costume yesterday. Craig, I know you've got some little ones as well, so I was definitely on the FBA Prime and paying through the nose for it.
Yeah, ridiculous, mate. Every single occasion, whether it be Halloween, whatever occasion it is, the kids go mental for Prime and costumes, and they love it, mate. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. What a fortunate position we're all in to be able to take take advantage of so many different seasonal peaks, you know, and you know, peaks and troughs throughout the year. So, you know, you guys are all in the right place, rest assured. But you haven't come here to hear me talk. You've come to find out a little bit about Craig and what he's been up to. So, Craig, you've been in the space for quite a while, and you know, you've had a really different kind of journey into full-time entrepreneurship. Spoiler alert, everyone. But for those who don't know who you are, haven't had the chance to, you know, jump on a webinar with you or know what you do, if you want to just give us an introduction about yourself and how you kind of started in this space.
Yeah, no problem. Hi, guys, as well. Obviously, if you see my face, you'll recognize it. Not one you forget easily enough. But yeah, it's been a bit of a different one for me. So I sort of came into the space a little bit later. I'm 37, so whether that's old or young, I don't know. But yeah, so
so yeah, you're winning.
Yes, not if you listen to my kids, I'm not. Walking up that hill this morning, she's like, "Daddy, keep up." Mate, I'm an old man now. So yeah, it's a case of I actually went straight from school to work for Sheffield City Council, to be precise. And I actually worked there for 21 years, 20 years, something like that, or around that mark. And basically, what I used to do basically is I went into the council. I loved it at first. Can't really grumble. I did everything from housing to evictions to rents to running a gypsy site for 10 years. Well, I had to run 2 gypsy sites for 10 years. That was the last 10 years of the council. But while all that was going on, as I've just mentioned, I started getting kids and stuff. Not getting, that sounds so weird, doesn't it? But yeah, we
from the gypsy camp.
Yeah, just bought them, mate. Arbitrage is the latest thing. So yeah, we on the first one, Theodora, she's 6. So when my wife was coming out of work and stuff, my mindset was I want to get a few pound coins in the pocket just to replace that income, you know, maternity and whatever else. So I really pushed the dropshipping side. What I should say is from like a young age, from, I don't know, 14, 15, I was always flipping things on eBay and stuff. So I was doing pirate DVDs and whatever else, and burning them to disc and selling them, or buying stuff and selling them, you know. We did all sorts. So maybe moving on to later in the life, I was doing the old dodgy boxes, you know, IPTV. So I was churning out hundreds of those a month. You know, don't do that, please. It's legal, whatever else. But when I was younger, that's what I did. That was the background on eBay. I was always into a bit of a side income, and I've obviously use it for going out or whatever else I was doing at the time. So when my wife went to work, left work with the eldest, I basically lent more into how can I make that work to replace that income, even if it was just a couple £100, whatever it was, just to basically put towards the mortgage. Obviously, mortgages back there was a bit cheaper than they are these days. But that was the main principle, was a case of, look, if she wants to have a year off, 2 year off, great. I'll just make a bit of income from eBay, as well as my full-time wage. Obviously, I was still working, just to basically prop up a few bills.
So that's interesting. You weren't looking for a way out yourself at the start. You know, you were in presumably you don't stay in a job for 20 years if you absolutely hate it. I mean, I know I know there's a difference between like everybody, you know, people that want to be self-employed, you know, want that ability to be able to work for themselves full time, and hating your job. There's a difference between the two, right? So you obviously you found this because it was originally to help replace an income, you know, for those extras in life.
Yeah, basically that was the sole purpose of it. It's one way I'm not shy working. I love working, as in I'm always busy doing something. I'm always active. So it's a case of, I didn't mind still going to work. I didn't initially, maybe later on I did, when I realized that I could replace the income. But my initial mindset was purely just to replace a lost wage. That was pretty much what I did it for. Quickly realized that we started drop shipping with, I'll not say the name because it was a different company to the one that I'm involved with now, but I'm not going to name drop clearly. But no, great people. But initially I started drop shipping with them and trying to, basically that's how I made the income to start with for the replacement wage. It quickly became apparent that it took off quite quick, and it was actually making more than the several 50, 60, £100 or £200 I was after. All of a sudden it was more the 3, the 4, the 500s, and it was moving on quite quick. So yeah, I just dove into it more. We got into I always tell the story of myself and Michael, you know, Michael Gervan, my business partner. We met each other by being fleeced by a guru. We got into drop shipping. We both sort of did it. We didn't know that we were both sort of on the same journeys. But obviously, him in Belfast, me in sunny Sheffield. And we were basically going to the next level. So we started drop shipping and doing quite decent. And for those not me saying drop shipping, it's basically sourcing on Amazon and selling on eBay. I wasn't drop shipping on Amazon itself. I was doing it the other way around. So don't drop ship Amazon. So yeah, we sort of paid this guy £1,000 a piece. Me and Michael, I paid 1,000. He did. I didn't realize I'd known him at that time. 6 of us paid this guy this money. He promised us this course. About 3 weeks in, we pretty much worked out it was absolutely clueless, and we actually earned more. That we knew more than what he did. And then 4 weeks in, he went off to Nicaragua, took all our money. So me and 6 others, we'd all paid him £1,000 a piece. He just bolted and took the coin with him, never to be seen again.
Wow.
So that basically put me onto the path of probably one of the better business decisions or meetings. You know, is you know, your networking, whatever. Me and Michael found ourselves in a group of 4 or 5 others where we didn't really. We knew we knew how to drop ship, but we always knew that we had to go to the next level, and that's why we paid the guy to hopefully supercharge it. It ran off, but what we quickly found out is me and Michael, what I knew, he didn't know, and vice versa. So we sort of like clung to each other, and we said, well, you know, we're halfway on this journey. Where do we go from here? And we basically helped each of us through the first stages of drop shipping. But what the best thing that he did, the guy, he introduced us to SaleFreaks as the next level of drop shipping. So we went from the other software to this. So it's actually down to that guy fleecing us that we got onto the road of drop shipping and SaleFreaks and where we are today, which obviously we'll talk about in a bit. So
yeah, wow. So what an interesting story. And I love the fact that, you know, you've taken something which, you know, let's face it, probably most people on this call, most people that will watch this at some point, us included, at some point, if you're in this kind of, you know, world, if you want to make it, regardless of how savvy you are, regardless of whatever, that probably most people will have some sort of story about something that hasn't gone as they'd expected, or it wasn't sold to them as they thought it was going to be at the end of the day. But, and you know, some people, I talk about this in some of the stuff that I do as well. You can let it bring you down. You can let it make you become a skeptic. But in a lot of cases like this, there will always be something that you can use to learn, whether or not it will be something that you'll take away from it immediately. It might be something in the future. It might put you on a different path or a different direction. It's very, very rare that you don't pick up some sort of lesson. Now, it depends if it's an expensive lesson or not. But at the end of the day, the majority of times, you always have to be able to look out for opportunity. And I think it's something that you mentioned. I think I can tell that type of person. And what I always say with people, especially when they start at school, like Ben said there, I actually had a letter from my primary school to my parents telling me to stop selling products to the other children. I was buying key rings and putting the Euro 96 players' pictures on them, selling them to all the other kids. That's amazing. I might give that idea. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, and I often find people like yourself, people like Ben, we started on eBay at a really, really young age as well, always selling something. When you have that mindset, when you have that ability to be able to spot opportunity, I always say, because you always confuse this word, sort of say, I'm an opportunist, whereas that's got like a negative connotation normally, but it's not about that. It's about being able to spot opportunity where you can kind of slot in and use experience or bad situations. So listen to Craig, guys. Don't become a cynic, because what happens, everybody has these type of experiences. That I've been through it myself. You've just got to learn from it. You've got to pick yourself up. You can see what you can salvage for it and move forward, because the second that you become a cynic, you block yourself off to opportunity. You don't see it anymore because you think everyone's on the take, essentially. So that's, ultimately, I think that's a really important. You can tell the people that are successful in this space, most of them do have some sort of story like that along the way. So really good to see that. Paul's joined us as well. Scott says Craig, and there's a goat next to it as well. So there we go. Got a great school time. Hi, Chris. Nice to see you as well. Lots of people coming in now, which is good. So you and Michael found each other.
Yep.
What I'm interested in, I think, because I think, like I said, drop shipping does have that connotation, doesn't it? Again,
yep.
I know some people might have tried it. Please, again, let's just reiterate, please don't drop ship on Amazon. It's the fastest way probably to an account suspension that you can imagine, unless Craig knows something I don't. But, I would still say
there's enough people doing it, but no, I think that's the difference from obviously, I do Amazon FBA as well as drop shipping and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the things is what to drop on and what not. And one of the big no-nos is don't do it on Amazon, because obviously you'll never get back in. You'll never, once the account's gone, it's gone. Whereas eBay, there's ways and tricks and different ways around it and different accounts. Whereas the Amazon verification is just so intense and getting through it. Once you've blown your account, which is essentially a very good income, whether it be side income or full income, it is a good income when you master it, and it can be gone just so easily. It's not worth it. Really not worth it.
We just want to reiterate that. But overall, what happens is sometimes when you have that reputation, especially in communities, people will come in, drop shippers, got suspended, that type of thing. It creates a level of negativity around the business model in itself. So if you wouldn't mind, what I'm interested to hear, and I'm sure the guys are interested to hear as well. So when you first heard that, when you first saw that glimpse of what was possible on drop shipping, what was it that drove you to think that, okay, I can take this to another level? Because you and Michael do it to a very high level. What's the difference between drop shipping, bit of a side hustle, that type of thing, and where you can potentially take it to, and the difference between good and bad?
Yeah, so I think a lot of it is, I think I mentioned it a bit earlier, it's a case of you don't realize with drop shipping, and this is where it's like me and Michael get probably you as well, we get a view from both sides. So we do drop shipping where there's no products. You don't own anything. You don't spend a penny. So the actual entry level, it don't cost you anything to get involved, or very little. Whereas Amazon FBA is absolutely, you have to buy a lot of stuff. You're buying physical products, and if you make a bad choice, you're stuck with a lot of products, and it's money value sat in stock. Whereas with the drop shipping, it's more of a mindset thing where it's actually less risk in your head because you're not actually physically buying it. So there's more of you can push yourself because you know what, you're not having to buy £1,000 of stock. because you don't own it. You're advertising it, but you don't actually own it. So the actual restraints holding you back are a lot less. And as I said, like we started drop shipping, and it was quite quick that you can scale through the ranks as long as you're not, and like with every business, you've got to look after it. Otherwise, it's going to blow up in your face. If you're careless and you don't do the basics, you're going to lose your account like you would be Amazon. So you still got to look after it and really care for it and stuff as if it's a proper income. But the difference between side income and proper income, I guess that's down to each person's targets or values, or what I see as my win. It might only be £100 a week. Well, I've made £100 a week. Great, I paid my mortgage. Where someone else's, they might want £5,000 a month to that might be their goal. That might be their piece. I don't know. But yeah, mine was, I'm a humble guy. It's a case of my win was quite low. As I said, mine was just purely to replace my wife's. It wasn't even to replace her full-time wage. It was to help the household. That's all I wanted to do. So for me, my win came quite quick because I suddenly found that all of a sudden in the first couple of months, I was hitting, £50 a week, £100 a week, then 200. All of a sudden, it became quite clear that if I actually concentrated on it and put the effort in, which I guess with any business, if you don't put the effort in, you're going to get that out. But if I put the effort in and concentrated on it a little bit, I could quite easily scale it and push it through the numbers quite quick. And, it's quite easily done. And don't forget, this is around while having a young baby. We actually knocked our house down when I started drop shipping. So we actually reaped. So while this was going on, I was in my mother-in-law's house for 4 months. So when I first really started drop shipping, I was working full time. We had a newborn baby. I was out the house living. There were 4 of us in a bedroom and a dog. Little Freddie, we're all sat in the mother-in-law's back bedroom. So if I can make time doing that, then anyone can make time doing it. It's a case of you've got to free up your time to be able to do it.
Yeah,
no excuses. Is what I'm saying. Probably there.
No excuses. One of my favorite things is you can have results or you can have excuses. You can't have both. It's it's as simple as that. So, so it sounds like you don't do things by halves. So obviously when you started it, like I said, you found Michael, and when was that kind of moment? You said you got the win quite early on. Did you think when you first started, was it, I think people have that kind of eureka light bulb moment at a time, where they sort of like go, wow, I could really do something here, or I could do that. For a lot of people probably watching it right now, I think, the realization came around that kind of COVID time when obviously just e-com absolutely just exploded and went through the roof and really showed people how they could potentially scale up a full-time income, maybe leave their job, that type of thing. So when was that kind of moment that you thought, because we haven't even started on Amazon as well, so presumably you got into Amazon FBA, you saw that, afterwards you saw that as a separate opportunity, which you do successfully in itself as well. When was that moment when you suddenly thought, right, I've been in a presumably a happy job, council job. So, I would assume you would have relatively good pay, good benefits, everything like that. So what was the moment you thought, right, I'm going to blow up my whole life and I'm going to chuck it all in and I'm going to see what I can do?
Right. So this is it's probably where the story gets a bit interesting. So as you're right, COVID went absolutely ballistic. No one could leave the house, which was absolute goldmine to obviously, e-commerce. Horrible situation with COVID, but from a trying to take the personal side, nothing else, the business side of it, everyone who was selling online, it was great because no one could leave the house. All they could do was order online. That was the the basics of it. So we did very well drop shipping. And what you've got to remember is we do at this moment in time is we use Amazon alone, but we have got other suppliers and stuff. But back then it was just purely Amazon. So our success was piggybacking off the success of Amazon. Because you can imagine that everyone's go-to is Amazon. It's one of the most searched, like Google, and there's like YouTube, and then there's Amazon. Those 3 things are the most searched things on the planet. So on Amazon, it was people's go-to for shopping, for anything that was delivered to the house. What you can remember is we're sourcing products that are selling well on Amazon and putting them on eBay. Yeah. So the chances are that they're doing well. So the chances are we were doing well. So as good as Amazon were booming, we were booming too. So we sort of piggybacked off the back of it. And for about 6 months, a year, I was still working full time, blasting it, probably a bit longer. And I was also doing the drop shipping at the side. And it was only when I really got a run of I could maintain those sales and numbers that I sort of had the cojones to take the leap. One of the other things that sort of pushed me into that is at work, I had quite a serious situation. I mentioned that I worked on the gypsy site, a very serious situation. I had to, something happened at work, and my life maybe was at risk, but we'll not go too deep into that. So I had to remove myself from that situation. So I had to go into a different job at work, which wasn't as fun. Didn't enjoy it. I love working on the gypsy sites. Amazing. Loved it, apart from this one incident. So I had to be moved for my safety. While that was going on, I had police hotspots at our house and everything. So basically, I was on speed dial for the police. My wife was heavily pregnant with a second child. I couldn't tell her that there could potentially be someone coming to our house. So I had to basically hide all this from her. So there was a lot of stress with all that sort of stuff. And so that compared with I was doing quite a good income from online. I was put into a job that I hated. There was the risk around family and stuff at home where I wanted to be there. So it sort of made my mind up for me where there was a sequence of events over the space of 6 months to a year where I had to make decisions that for the best. It actually worked out well. So I pushed it down the right routes. But as we mentioned earlier, things happen for a reason. So, the guy fleeced us. I met Michael, did SaleFreaks. This sort of happened. It pushed me more into the e-commerce where I had to then proper knuckle down and go, do you know what? If I want to do this, I've got to focus and do it. And I did. But it gave me that opportunity to make those steps.
Wow. And was it, when this serious incident occurred, was it like an instant thing at that point where you thought, right, enough's enough, I'm out?
I think it was the eye opener, where it's a case of it's not worth me doing this. Yes, it was you've mentioned it was an amazing pay. I've been there for long. I was at the top of the grades and stuff. Great pension, nothing could beat the old council pension. I was doing quite well, but so for 20 years I've been paying into that. So it's not as if I'm jumping with nothing. I've sort of secured that as well. But then it also, like you said, certain things happened where I sort of knew that was the time to move on and proper concentrate. Things were happening. Me and Michael were progressing his own businesses and stuff. So it all sort of fell in line where it was the right time. So
Do you think you would have jumped at that point if that?
I'd have gone eventually anyway. I would have 100% gone eventually.
Yeah. Okay.
That sort of brought my deadline. It sort of sped my timeline up.
Oh, that's really, really interesting. So at that point, so obviously bit of an incident. We all have that at some point. Well, maybe not as serious as that, touch wood, fortunately, maybe not as serious as that. But, generally most people will have something that happens, where it will kind of force them to make a decision or do this, or an event in their life, essentially, where they can go to that next stage. So obviously at this point, you've got the drop shipping, you've got the FBA, everything's going, you've left the job, you've waved the gypsies goodbye, and now you're heading into full-time entrepreneurship. So at that moment in time, because there must have been a period of time where you kind of pivoted and thought, okay, I'm doing this full-time now, this is great, but do I want to rely on just this? Or what was your thought process there? What was your next move?
You've just basically sort of said it there. So one of the things why we both do it, I say we a lot because me and Michael, we do everything together.
On YouTube, by the way, as well. Hi, Michael.
Just put a smile face, don't they? So if you haven't seen the comments, guys, he's down there, somewhere in the corner. So the difference is because I know drop shipping as well, and we're experienced in it. We also know how, like with any business, like with FBA, you could have a couple of IP complaints, whatever. Something could go drastically wrong. It could drop. And if that's your sole income, it's a risk. It's the same with drop shipping. There's certain risks involved, maybe slightly different risks, but it's a risk. Now, when it's not a guaranteed income, like a 9 to 5, for instance, it's a case of I had to branch out and just give multiple incomes. So it gave me a security so that if something, don't get me wrong, is very lucrative and it pays very well, but if that went down tomorrow, what would I do then? So my mindset is, right, I've mastered the drop shipping. Any profits that we did from drop shipping, me and Michael both started an FBA store, and the money and the profits we made from drop shipping, we put into opening an Amazon FBA store. So we made the money on drop shipping. I didn't put any personal money into FBA. We put a dump of money into our FBA stores. And then what we do then is we then turn that money over and over and over, and then made an income there. Then that led into like the VA agency, the prep centers, and whatever else that we do. So we've actually multi-platform. I've mentioned earlier before the call, we do the coaching calls and stuff for various people. So we've sort of, we're working at home as long as it fits into the schedule and it's not overloading us. We're not spinning too many plates that's going to cause a problem. We sort of diversify his income so that, we might get a bit of income from there, but all together, it's a great income, or it's more security, so.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's one of those things that, and this I do think comes down to you as a type of person, or what type of person you are, what type of entrepreneur you are. I'm very much of the mindset of yourself, where I would prefer to spin 20 plates, and if 12 of them drop, I've still got 8 left.
Exactly.
Because
I
have been put in.
Don't get me wrong. I've had some Greek dances in my time. This has been some 20 plate smash. But you've got to take that risk, haven't you? I think that's what the entrepreneur sort of is you've got to take a few risks as well. There's a comfort zone, and that's fine. But certain times you've got to have a go at something. You've got to push yourself out of your comfort zone, have a go. Do you know if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. There's something else you can have a go at.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, no true entrepreneur, and like I said, entrepreneur is a word, people associate with like Alan Sugar or Donald Trump or Elon Musk or something like that. Anybody that creates, as far as I'm concerned, anybody that has that mindset that creates any type of income stream, from their own, kind of mind, gets that title from my point of view, whether you're full-time, part-time, whatever. You've just got an entrepreneurial mindset. You've got that mindset as far as I'm concerned. But I think that, when you do get to a point, especially when you have kids, again, different scenarios, I think differently to some of
you. A lot.
yeah.
It's a lot, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Like, I have a certain level. I'm quite risk averse. I'm not a crazy risk taker. We do take risks, but not crazy. But I also think it's because I've got kids and I've got family. I'm slightly older. My risk level is going to be far different to someone who's living at home, is in their 20s, who's living their best life, that type of thing. There's all different risks and things that you're prepared to take at different times. So I think it's one of those things, guys. You have to do what works for you. So you can either go down that route of spinning those plates, but you've got to be good at multitasking, and you've got to have a good team, and you've got to have partners. And I think personally, or you can go down that laser focus, not saying one is better over the other. I think it comes down to the individual, what suits them more.
I totally agree with what you just said. One of the things that we everything we say is based because we've all fallen at all those hurdles. Everything I say to people about do or don't do is because I've crumbled at the same spot myself, as in a case of I've seen the pitfall. It's when you're like, if you're going to do like eBay and stuff, make sure you know it, and don't just jump around going, I'm going to do 5 minutes at eBay, then I'm going to do 5 minutes at Amazon. If you're going to have a go at it, give it a good time to run and actually see if it works or not. Then move in someone else. And if it is up and running and you understand the business, then you can automate it. You can put the virtual assistants, you can put the softwares, you can put the whatever it is in place, your staff in place, so that that it now works and those people can handle that for you. And then you can have a dabble in something else. Then you learn that, you understand that. You can maybe automate and get that to run. Whereas before we used to just do everything and like try and run around and like say spin those plates, where maybe we didn't need to do that until we really solidified one and go, right, that one's ready. We can have a look at this one. That one's ready. Right, we can have a look at this one and move on to the next venture.
Yeah, absolutely. Sean's joined us as well, and he said you don't really need much money for drop shipping. Plus, you're not holding or touching any physical stock, which is, it's a great model to be able to look at in from that point of view. And very much, and again, this is what we always say. Whilst we always say don't get your head turned by shiny object syndrome. You do have to have a certain amount of capacity to take on new income streams.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can do it in a really sensible way. You can do it in a way something doesn't require much stock, physical holding, or utilization of your current business. It's just about a case of being smarter with your time. Something that we've recently done with all the guys in the Hive. We've gone through and shown them this the way that they can maximize their time as much as possible to be able to take on new opportunity. And that's what it comes down to more than anything else. Shiny object syndrome is actually fine, providing you've got the capacity to do it, and providing you give it a real chance as well. Because again, from what Sean said there as well, you think, okay, it's going to be something that's because there's not high levels of investment. Do you find that when people jump into it, they expect unrealistic results quickly?
I'd say so, yeah. And everyone basically wants a quick buck. Let's be honest. Everyone wants to jump in and go, like, for instance, whatever you do or I do, or whoever in the comments is doing well. Other people will see that either on social media or in person, and they'll go, oh, I want that quick and easy. So they'll jump in and go, I'll just sell on eBay, and they expect that within a week they're going to be making hundreds and hundreds of pounds, and that's not the case. We're in this position now where we're still having problems. Still, things happen every day, but we're in a lot better position now compared to when we started, and that's taken 3, 4, 5 years. Back when COVID started and stuff, maybe a year or so before that. But we've had to build it up, and we've gradually built things up and scaled things up to the point, and obviously automated certain things. We've got the software and stuff. So we've had to put those in place to get to where we're at. It's not just being a quick join and your money's there. It doesn't happen like that.
No, there's no such thing as an overnight success. And if someone says it is, then he's probably bought his plane tickets to Nicaragua already, right?
Yeah. So done a runner, right?
Yeah, he's booked those tickets and he's off his go. Off he goes, sorry. So Pardeepa says, I'm trying to grow on eBay. I know Matthew's answered there, but they've set limits. Any sort of tips for that before we jump into, where you went to in the next part of your journey?
Yeah. So for the limits and stuff, it depends on what your eBay journey is. If you're selling physical products and stuff, then by all means contact eBay and speak to a rep, and they will increase it, even up to about 500,000 before you go to a specialist team for increases. So I think on my stores it's 1.2 million and
what is that? Is that listing?
Like selling limits. So like I'm allowed to list up to those numbers. All right. It sounds big, but actually compared to some people, even Matt. I bet he's got probably bigger ones than I have. I know Michael's run limited, so he just had no limit at one point. He could just list to the moon. He could list the contents of Amazon on his account if he wanted to.
Wow!
Because his limits were that crazy at one point. He never got to that, but he could have done. So yeah, but if you're physical products, then by all means contact eBay and speak to a rep, have a phone or live chat. And as long as your account and your metrics are good, so if you're doing all your return cases, your responses, answering your messages, any item not received cases. As long as your metrics are good, like with anything, you've got to maintain the account. Like with Amazon, you've got to keep everything sweet. As long as you're providing a good customer experience, they will increase your limits. For drop shipping, it's more of I would go down the route of when you've got a limit, say it's 100,000, for instance, in cash, you can get like a red zone at the end. You can organically grow to that. So list that amount of items. And when you're in the red zone, eBay will automatically poke your account up, so they will increase your limits organically. And I would do that as often as you can, other than ringing them and poking them, because the more times you drop shipping that you're poking them, and they take that little bit of an extra look into your store and actually realize that, hang about, these aren't real products, that's where you don't want to poke the bear too much. So it's more of a physical product, fine, crack on, you've got nothing to hide. Not that you're hiding anything anyway, but it's sometimes better as a business model that you let one grow and go, rather than, I'm just looking, Matt's just said he's got 2 million and 1.4. Yeah, so he's got some big numbers too.
Yeah.
So that's probably the advice on that.
Yeah,
don't
excellent.
poke the bear, drop shipping.
That's the case with anything, though, isn't it? Right? You never poke the bear, definitely. Amir says, I'm struggling to find product. Currently, what I'm doing is health and beauty category. What is the best niche to scale up in? Is there one? Or is it a bit of a free-for-all?
It's hard to say. It's a bit of a free-for-all. You tend to find, I don't know if you do Amazon FBA as well, is the products that are selling well on Amazon, normally more often than not are selling well on eBay. But the products that sell well, or if you think around what do people love every day for themselves or the family or the replenishables, or what do we all need? Do we all need, well, clearly I don't need hair products, but for instance, it could be hair products, beauty products, things for the kids, around animals and pets. Everyone loves the dogs. Well, not mine, because he whacked me in the face and cut my eye earlier, but that's another story. But yeah, you know, they all want dog food and leads and toys for the dogs. So stuff that people have a connection with around the house is stuff that will always sell well, because people always want to replant. For instance, we always used to do beauty and, for instance, electrical. So people always need bulbs, light bulbs. People, they need a light bulb in the house every so often, you know. So it's stuff that's simple, or kitchen and homeware, stuff that's around the house that people need every day. That's the stuff that will naturally sell a lot quicker than the I don't know, the specialist items where someone might have just a special interest in a particular item that not everyone else does. But yeah, that's what I'd say.
There we go. So yeah, bit of a free for all. So going back to you, Craig. So everything's going well. Few fingers and a few pies. You know, left the job, and then you decide to make your life even more complicated, presumably, and. And I know this because I've already spoken to Craig about it a little bit. Then you decide to go and join the crazy world of like software or SaaS service providers. So talk us about what happened there, because you were using a software that you ended up, you know, spoiler alert, becoming the owner of, right?
Yeah. So again, everything happens so much a weird way around. So initially back to the start, we were dropshipping on another software, great software. Obviously, I'm not going to mention it. I don't want them to go to them when they come to us. But it's a case of they were doing great, but it will only go so far, that software. We needed a powerhouse, which was SaleFreaks, which is the company that we now own now. Now, the reason that we own it is we obviously joined it. Me and Michael were dropshipping on there for 3-4 years, doing very well. We replaced as full-time income. So we were actually doing dropshipping. We still do. I'm a dropshipper now. Still am. My main income, my love, my
main income, is that?
Yeah. By mail, dropshipping by an absolute country mile. It's the easiest income I've got. It's the best income I've got across everything else. It's just because I'm not physically buying any stock or doing anything. The software is doing everything for me. So we basically dropshipped for a long, long time. Me and Michael basically did that well out of it. We got a bit of money behind us. As we said, we put some of that money into Amazon FBA. And the rest of it, we stored up. We had a little bit of a dabble in crypto along the way, which I don't know if James is on from Lifestyle Lab. Thanks for that, pal. Got us into that. So we had a dabble on that, which also we bought right at the bottom. It ballooned, so we made a bit of an income on crypto as well. So what me and Michael wanted to do, basically, we wanted to build his own dropshipping software. You know, we was experienced. We knew what, as a customer, what we needed, what we wanted as ourselves, because we're doing it. So we saw the pitfalls, the problems, the little hang-ups that was really annoying. So what we actually did, we partnered with a couple of people that are probably well known to the group. And we were going to.
They are. They're friends of the group. So
yeah. So I'll leave that to you. But so basically, we basically built on, and we tried to build a software. While we was building a software, we got so far down the line, it was doing really well. SaleFreaks actually came available for sale. So that's how we went. So we were actually building our own software. So we actually got so far down the line. We put all the we designed it. We got even the user interface and everything together. And then SaleFreaks became available, came on the market. So we just basically parked that, and we jumped in and bought SaleFreaks. So we actually bought the software with the money that we'd earned dropshipping. So we'd actually done that well dropshipping that we actually ended up buying the software. So that's how we got into basically doing that side of it. But that came with its, we opened the doors. It probably wasn't in as good a condition as what we were led to believe by the people selling it. So we've had to take about coming on a year to basically tighten everything up, make things work better, find out some of the problems. There were some staff that we replaced, and we got other staff in. To the point now, we made tweaks that we wanted to tweak behind the scenes. To the point where he's probably now at a position where he's working absolutely amazing behind the scenes and stuff. I didn't know if I was allowed to say there were people's names, by the way, so I didn't. So I've not said it.
Yeah, of course you can. So yeah, it's Matt and Karen from BuyBot Pro.
Yes. So it's
Yeah.
me and Michael and then Matt and Karen. So yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, no, we have no issues that whatsoever. I came from the SWP audience, so yeah, everyone knows they are friends of the team here for sure.
Cool.
So yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes you can say something, sometimes you aren't. But
I have to try and think what channels I'm on and stuff when I'm talking to them. Like, is that to do with them, not to them? So I had to just be careful there. But if I was name dropping rivals and other people's.
Oh no, we don't care. We don't care about that. We don't care about that, and especially
cool.
their friends anyway as well. So yeah, no, we don't care about that. Definitely for sure. So when you opened it up, it was kind of like a big shock, and you were like, "Oh my god, you know what's going on here?" Do you regret not continuing on building your own, or are you happy that you bought the existing?
Do you know what? We've had that chat so many times because would it have been amazing to build our own from scratch? Absolutely fantastic. I would have jumped all over it because we wanted it. That was how we wanted it. Yeah. But there's also that love affection with SaleFreaks. It was what's made us the income is what's made us do so well. So it would have been great getting his own, but I'm not mad that we've ended up with SaleFreaks because it is, you know, SaleFreaks has been going now for 12 years. It's the oldest, biggest dropshipping software there is. All the other softwares you see that's out there now, they all come from people that were involved in SaleFreaks.
Right.
So if people has branched out and have a copied or moved from or something, the actual original main powerhouse was SaleFreaks, and the other softwares are off branches of that. Not many people know that. Obviously, there are going to be different ones that wasn't to do with us, but the majority of the main ones in the dropshipping space all come from the sourcing and the main background of SaleFreaks. So yeah.
Yeah. So you've gone down that route. You've established that for, for a while now, and people have been, running successfully. Paulina's asked there. So some of the things I presume, it's good that you've got, because I didn't even know that you could use software for this. I didn't even know. I didn't even know it was a thing, to be perfectly honest, that you could do that. It's crazy. Yep. And you're so involved in the world of e-commerce, and then someone comes along and says, yeah, but there's this. And then you find out half the people you're talking to are like, yeah, I've done that in the past, or I've done this. Because I think some people use it as a vehicle to be able to get into Amazon FBA. I've heard people talking about that, previously as well. But some of the things there, like Paulina's asked, so how do you avoid getting banned on eBay for drop shipping and being suspended by Amazon? All of those sort of questions that are running through people's minds.
It's quite, how can I explain it? So these two, we'll go back to the start. So I've never actually known anyone suspended for drop shipping, right? Fact. No one actually gets to eBay store. They know I'm a drop shipper. They've not banned my accounts. My account, I've been flagged, so to speak, so they reduce the amount of views I get to my account, but I've never been suspended for drop shipping. And what you've got to remember is like with Amazon and with eBay, it's all about the customer experience and maintaining your store so that on those, whatever platform that is, you're delivering the best customer experience for their customers. So that is you're answering messages, your items are being delivered, you've got tracking, your pricing's good, and all the stuff around that. So as long as you're maintaining your store, there's no reason why you can't do that as a drop shipper. Then they're okay with that, And what you got to remember is it's like drop shipping, and Michael actually said this quote to me earlier in my head because I'd not, I was asking about coming on here and stuff. And it's like when you're drop shipping and stuff and finding stuff, it's exactly like retail arbitrage for Amazon FBA, where we're sourcing from shops, which we're sourcing from Amazon, and we've got other suppliers as well coming in. So we're sourcing from other shops as well. It's only like us having to prove that to eBay where we've sourced our products. Is exactly like sometimes if you're asked that question as an Amazon FBA seller, is where have you found your products? Do you have invoices or do you not? And that's one of the risks of online arbitrage, or it's all around receipts and you've maybe not done it as a wholesaler or whatever else. So it's the same sort of principles. So as long as you maintain your customer metrics and your store to a degree that's really good, then there's no reason why your account would be banned. There really isn't. They'll probably pause your account and say, can you prove where you've got your stock from? And then that's where you've got to make decisions of, do you provide Amazon receipts? There's people on the internet will do a receipt for you. It sounds stupid, but they'll knock your invoice up. There's other ways and methods that if you want to really push it, you can get your store back, no problem. And you've got more chance of getting your eBay store back than you have done your Amazon FBA store.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
By the way, never ask anyone to knock you up an invoice for Amazon, guys.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
Never do that. They will find you and they will get you for
Yeah.
manipulation of documentation, and it's very hard to get an account back based on that. Believe me.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's answered that, Paulina. Andrew says the eBay policy states as long as you have a working relationship with the dropshipper, it's all good. So it's good that it's people are talking about it more, and like I said, taking away some of those negatives that, or misconceptions that people may have about this space. So what do you think would be, if somebody wanted to get involved in this, if somebody wanted to kind of give it a go, what do you think would be the best way to do it? And what would you see the pitfalls or the pros and cons were for anyone that wanted to give it a go?
Right, so for anyone who wants to go in the into drop shipping and stuff, it's as I sort of said on my journey, it's a case of it's to me, my personal opinion, obviously I do both, is it's so low level risk, it's so low level entry, and then you just need an eBay account, or it'd be personal or business, whatever that is, it doesn't really matter. And then, for instance, our software, of course I'm going to say our software because of SaleFreaks, and the reason I say that is you link your eBay store to our software. The software will basically, you can source your products. So what it does, it scans Amazon. And what I will say is we have got other suppliers coming in the next couple of weeks. So it's not just going to be an Amazon. So you won't even need to worry about Amazon full stop. Okay. Cool. So you source those products on Amazon. And then what that will do, it will find all of the hot sellers on Amazon. It compares how they sell on eBay and then comes back with like a ranking score and stuff. I'll not go too deep into that, but basically we'll tell you what to sell, right? What it will then do is then with a click of the button, automated, you can just click list. It will list all of those products onto your eBay store. So what it does, it scans all of the pictures, all of the descriptions, all of the prices that's on Amazon, and it basically automatically lists it onto eBay. So basically reflects all those pictures, everything, does it all for you. You don't have to create a listing. It does it all automatic, right? What it then does is pretty much like obviously all the software for Amazon FBA and stuff. It is a repricer as well. So what it will do is it will monitor the price on Amazon, and it will jiggle your price about on eBay to basically monitor your. So if you want, for instance, 10% profit, 20% profit, if you set that in your settings, SaleFreaks will monitor the price on Amazon and mark your eBay price up by 10 or 20 or 30% on a basic level talking there, right? So it's a case of if the price moves on Amazon, your price on eBay will go up. So it'll always monitor your profit margin. So basically it'll always dance up whenever the price is moving on Amazon and reprice for you. So when you get a sale on eBay, the software monitors your eBay account. It will automatically pull that sale through to your account and go across to Amazon and place the order. So what it does, it takes that person's name, address, and their money. So what you got to remember is we're not buying stock. So if they paid us £30 for something, they pay you the £30. The system will automatically take their name and address. It will place the order automatically on Amazon. It will go across to an Amazon buyer account. It will copy and paste that person's address into there for you, and it'll ship it direct to that person's address. So all the way through this process, you haven't had to do anything. Not touch it. The software is doing it for you, okay? So it automatically ships that order direct to the client, and then you've made the sale. So if it costs you, they paid you £30 on eBay, you'll keep, say, 15 of it or 20 of it, and it'll take the £10 for the price on Amazon and use that £10 and send it, and you'll keep the £20 in your pot. If there's a return, that's fine. You go and get a free return label off Amazon for that product you've sent. You copy and paste it, stick it back in that person's eBay account. They return it to the post office. It goes straight back to Amazon. So again, you're not touching anything. They'll give you a refund on Amazon. They pay you back to your bank account the original £10, and then you give that person their money back. So you're never ever using your own money. You're always just moving the money around. So it's quite simple. So that's in a nutshell. That's drop shipping. So that's
and presumably you can take advantage of some of the same benefits that you can with FBA, like Amex cards and cashback and vouchers and things like that. So you can go ahead and maximize some of them.
Everything. So it's a case of we're obviously talking about Amazon and stuff as well. So you can there's gift cards. As I said, there's the Amexes and stuff, which obviously if you're building points or cashback, it's another margin that you can claim at some point during the purchase. And what you got to remember is as well is from a drop shipping point of view is, as I mentioned earlier, it's a case of we are piggybacking off the success of Amazon. essentially. So the feedback I'm getting for fast delivery, it's not my feedback, but my store's representing that, getting all the good marks. But it's actually Amazon's Prime next day amazing service that we're actually succeeding on getting a good rating, because if they deliver quick, we're getting a good mark. It's not Amazon that's getting the mark, it's our store. Yeah. And one of the ones I try and say to people is, as an Amazon FBA seller, we're finding products that say £3 online, we're marking it up to sell on Amazon for a profit. We're then, for eBay, marking that price up off Amazon for another profit again. So you can imagine is we're actually jumping on the train again. So it just shows as an Amazon seller when we're worrying about tanking prices and stuff. It doesn't really matter on eBay because I've already marked your price up and making profit off that tanked price. So I'm actually already winning, but I'm actually winning twice because the original price you bought it at is probably really down here. So we're like jumping again. So it's a weird thing to explain, but some people love eBay, some people love Amazon. It's their preferred market where they want to go on.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, all of a sudden we just had like a million questions come in, so let's run through and have a look at those. By the looks of it, looks like I should have signed up to some sort of affiliate link that I could have dropped here. Everyone's like, what is it? The software is called, is it SaleFreaks?
SaleFreaks, yeah.
Yeah, because I always want to call it SalesFreaks.
No, there's no S. No, it's not. It's SaleFreaks.
Yeah, SaleFreaks. Okay. Andrew wanted to know, what was that? Andrew's a fantastic eBay seller himself. So what about someone like, actually a good question. What about someone like Andrew who sells regularly physical products himself? If you are already successful on eBay selling physical products, would you want to mix in the drop shipping or do something separate?
There's no reason why you can't. There's no reason why you can't use the same eBay store, because the software will only monitor the items that you've listed via the software. Everything else that comes through the eBay account that you've listed manually, for instance, you can still list and sell yourself and dispatch yourself from your own home and whatever else. It's just business as usual. But if you've got another eBay account, it's like with drop shipping. You can add. That's one of the main things really that when I think back, what I wish I'd have done sooner is I wish I'd have connected more eBay stores sooner. So I stuck to 2 big API accounts, which is obviously monitored by the software. But what I wish I'd have done, I wish I'd have got families, friends, and everyone else's eBay accounts, or got my own. And I wish I'd have added them to the software as well, because the software will monitor as many as you want, really. So that's one of my big regrets. I wish I'd have. So if you want to split them and do one drop shipping, one personal, there's no reason why you can't do that.
No, absolutely. Let's have a quick look. Pardeep says that's what he needs. Do you have a link? It's SalesFreaks. We'll do a shameless plug at the end where you guys can get in contact with Craig if you want to. Hamza and I think someone else asked this, and I'll come back to you in a second, Caitlin, as well. Asked, what about, do people get fed up? Do you get complaints when it comes through in Amazon packaging? Is there a workaround with that? Do you just hit the gift option or something?
Yeah, you can. To be honest with you, it doesn't really matter. Whichever you select, gift option or none. So basically, if you select gift option, it means that they're going to obviously withdraw the who he's from, basically, like all the pricing and invoices and whatever else. Leaves a nice little message saying, thank you very much for buying whatever it is, the little white slip that comes. But I've got to be honest, I did something on the SaleFreaks Facebook group the other day where I actually broke down my feedback. There's something like 50,000 feedback. And I've still got, bear in mind, the amount of people that leave feedback. So I compared all my sales, and out of all my sales, only 11% bothered to leave feedback in the last 12 months. All right. So I made something like, I don't know, 80,000 sales, whatever it is, like items. All right. So in that, out of those 80,000 items, only, I think it was something like 11% of people have bothered to even leave feedback. All right. So that's how I got my eBay score. So I got something like, whatever it is, X amount of thousands. Out of those 11% of people that's even bothered to leave it, there's only 9 people that had left negative feedback, right? Out of all those people, out of nearly 80,000, 9 people left negative feedback. And of those 9 people, I think there was only 4 that had actually mentioned Amazon.
Yeah.
That's how ridiculous it is. And it's all coming in the Amazon box. It's all whatever. There's people aren't, as long as it arrives and it is what they paid for, it's very rare. So a lot of people get caught up on the fact is that it comes in an Amazon box. It is what it is. I mean, if someone complains and says, I didn't want to buy it from Amazon, you say, well, I put it in an Amazon box. Yeah. It's quite easy to explain your way out of it. Or So no, it is from Amazon. Can I return it? You say not a problem. Amazon do a free return. You return it back to Amazon, which it's a bit uncomfortable for me as an Amazon FBA seller because I'm probably even selling my own stuff. I don't even know. So that trips me up as an Amazon FBA seller because obviously that's a return then to me, which I've then got to deal with. So there is a bit of a shade there in the middle.
I bet you're selling probably 90% of the people that are watching this. You're probably selling their stuff. I know you're selling my stuff without a doubt on there. I know you are.
Yeah. But it's like me and Michael are big sellers, but you know what? We are nowhere near the biggest, even on SaleFreaks. Mm-hmm. We are large, don't get me wrong, but these other people are doing way, way, way better than what we are. Way better.
Wow, that's crazy. It's crazy. It's great to see, and I know that there'll be a lot of people interested this, and this, guys. Never mind, the buy box isn't here to sell you anything. It's to talk with people.
I feel like we went off on a tangent there.
I know,
I speak passionately about eBay because that is my. That is what I said at the start. That's my baby, and I love talking about it. But obviously, apologies.
Oh no, absolutely.
Bit of a rant there.
People will always be interested in different things, and this is a kind of unbiased channel that we get on different people from different to show how people make income or create income streams within this space. That's what it comes down to. So, and when you are an owner of something as well, you're always massively passionate about it, and that's what we like to see. And you guys can see why Craig is achieving the level of success he is, because he does have that entrepreneurial spirit and that passion, with that drive. You've got to be able to have it if you want to go ahead and and find success in this space.
It's what excites you, isn't it? It's like what comes down to the excitement of it. It's like if I could easily rant about Amazon FBA just as easy. I could easily talk about the other stuff we do. It's when it was like you say, that's why you find your hurdles and your issues and stuff, and you stumble into something. And this is something we sort of stumbled into by a guy robbing us. That's how stupid it was. This all started from a guy taking his money and running off to Nicaragua. That's how we got into doing what we're doing. So it's just weird how things turn out, and I don't know, it's just a bit of a drive to get to the things you're passionate about, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Hamza has said, have you thought about integrating Etsy? You mentioned some other spaces. Can you let us know those suppliers? Can you give us a bit of an exclusive or not?
So we have got we are working on a high number of suppliers. So at the minute, the SaleFreaks software dropships from Amazon. It's in the UK and US, by the way. So it's on both sides of the pond. The minute is Amazon to eBay. But in the next couple of weeks, we are bringing in more suppliers. Eventually, there's going to be 50, 60, 70 suppliers. So we're talking Robert Diaz, Argos, John Lewis, CJ Dropshipping, loads. It's all going to come in. And then what basically we are going to be doing, it's not just going to be an eBay software to dropship onto. We're also going to be looking at the marketplaces where we're dropshipping. So Etsy, Shopify, Facebook Marketplace. It's all coming in. Clearly, we've got to stagger that down the road a little bit.
Yeah,
but in the not too distant future, it will be multi-platform for sure. It's already basically being worked on now, so it's coming in.
Yeah, awesome. Zahir says, hello. Hi, Zahir. Good to have you here. I bet you're busy this week with everything that's going on. Let's just have a quick look. Brian says, I'm pretty sure there's an option now to be able to send Amazon in non-branded boxes. There is, but you've got to pay for it, right?
Yep. This is something that's going to kill your margins and probably price you out against your competition. So no one else is doing it, so there's no need to. And as I've just said with the feedback, there's no reason to do it.
Yeah, there's no issue to be able to do it. Amazon will always try and find a way to maximize their margins the best possible way that they can. Yvonne said, arrive late, need to watch the replay for this one. Make sure you do. It'll go on YouTube in the next couple of hours, or you can find it in the group for sure. Just seeing here, someone's asked here, it's Johnny, are you using the Keeper, to pull the Amazon information?
Nope. Not from the software, not as far as I know. Not doesn't use Keeper at all. It's basically monitors the top sellers, so we can modify the search via pretty much as it does on Amazon via top sellers and star rating and stuff like that, and the amount of sales per month. And obviously, what it does then, it compares it to how it's selling on eBay, and it mishmashes information together. So basically, how well it's on Amazon, what the other sellers are on eBay, and then it gives you. It's hard to explain, but yes, it compares information and gives you your proper points to price at and whatever else.
Yeah, Johnny's the software freak, so he's going to be asking the the software questions for sure. Ben says, "Does SaleFreaks?" I keep saying it SaleFreaks. Does sales? I can't say.
SaleFreaks.
SaleFreaks. Typically,
that's why we just say SF half the time.
Oh God.
SF, yeah.
Does FF typically work okay with a map? Other half, just having a quick look, but it seems to be logging out every few seconds. But
no, it's just browser based. It's just a web based product for the user, so it shouldn't cause any problems. I know Michael for a fact uses a Mac, so no.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it might just be a case of, you know. Oh God, I was just about to give some technical advice. Then I was going to say like clear cookies or caches or something or whatever you're supposed to do. Guys, please don't take any type of technical advice from me. Probably end up, you know, being like a Mission Impossible. Your laptop will explode or something like that if you take any type of technical advice from me. Paulina says there are certain wholesale suppliers who have drop shipping options. Are SaleFreaks compatible with them?
Right. So this is probably a bit of a drop. Something that we're bringing in down the line is we are going to be bringing in some of this. What we want to do, as long as there's no problems with it, people will be able to recommend a website they want access to, and then we will implement that website either for them, like on their own, so no one else gets access, so they can rinse it on their own. Or it might be something we can bring in on a larger scale. But the idea is down the line, people can put recommendations in and say they want this website linked to their eBay accounts, and the guys will look at integrating that specifically for them. So if they really want to take advantage of a particular site on their own, they can do that. Or if we roll it out, whatever. But there is going to be that option down the line.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant. Hamza has said, I'm interested to give it a go, but I feel the drop shipping course that's available is on the foundational side, or at least the free version is the paid one different?
It is, and it's just I don't like really ranting about courses and stuff. So I'm not on here to rant about courses. The one on the website is absolutely fine to get you going. Obviously, there's the Facebook groups and other stuff, and YouTube channel to watch how-to guides and stuff. But clearly, the paid one, it's a lot more in depth. It's weekly webinars and in-depth training and one-to-ones, and it's for people that you can learn absolutely fine off the free course. There's nothing stopping you doing the free course. It's perfect for what you need. But some people really want to push their business to the next level. So as with anything that anyone does these sort of things, it's the people that want to push on. So they not just want to do the 10s and 20s and £30. They want to have the proper hand holding and deep dive and deep learning, and they want to really push it and focus on maybe making it a full-time income sooner or whatever else. So that's what the course is about. It's for those that want to aim high and whatever else, and want a bit of hand holding.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Craig's going to pop his details, in a moment. He's going to let you know where you guys can contact him. So if you want any further information about that, then just let him know that you saw him on the Nevermind the Buy box and just wanted a bit more information about it. Just a couple more questions and then we'll look to wrap it up, because I know, how many fingers you've got in so many pies. You are a busy guy, so I don't want to take advantage of your time too much. Paulina has said, oh no, I'm missing some comments here. It's the problem with running so many different, streams. Where are we? Do you have multiple eBay accounts in the event that one of the accounts becomes at risk? I presume it's spinning those eBay.
Depending which way you can do it, it's like, I can explain it. So there's two different kinds of versions of our software. So we've got API and non-API. So API basically means if you've used software before, the chances are eBay have flagged you. So you've basically got to go down the API route, which is a connection, obviously quicker reprice and everything. I've got two big API stores, which I think I mentioned earlier on, that I purely do on the API. But we also have the non-API version. So if you've never linked it to a software, what that does, it basically gives the impression of that you aren't a software. So basically, eBay don't flag you. So basically, you get higher impressions. You can get top-rated seller. So obviously, you get different margins and percentages back for that. Yeah. So there's different advantages to using both. But if you get flagged as a non-API, you can add as many accounts as you want. As long as you've got family, friends, or your own, you can list as many as you want. And if you get flagged, you just jump over onto the API and just rinse it as a flagged version. So you've got 2 bites of the cherry pretty much.
Excellent. Sounds like you guys have thought of everything.
Fell for everything, you mean? But yeah, we got there now. But yeah, we've been burned by all those things in the past. Yeah.
Oh dear, oh dear. But like I said, every cloud, and you've always got to find your way somewhere. And it's like I said, normally through that bad experience. Actually, Craig, I've got to be honest, it does seem like all of your successes do come from a negative experience.
It does, and it's one of it's like a lot of those things. It's like it's not just by chance that we've done it. It's like I'd like to think that everything we've done, it's the case of we've walked the walk first. We've actually done that. I'm not just going to turn around and say, "Oh yeah, do this." And actually, I've never done it, because half the stuff you can probably tell that we've done is it's come from a place of we've either stepped on something wrong or something's happened, and maybe that's whether that's fate or what, I don't know. But it's a case of we've been there, done it. It's like we've done the eBay, we've done the Amazon, everything else we've done. We've actually done that route first ourselves, and then we've rolled it out or stepped into different spaces as a result of.
Yeah, you've got to do that, guys. You've got to work with the people that know what they're doing, being down in the trenches, doing what they're doing every day. It's like today, Matt, my husband, has found a solution to something which, we put out in the group at a time, which has been driving people mental for years, because he's taken the time to focus in on it, because it's a problem that we deal with all of the time, and he's finally made a breakthrough on it. And you can't achieve those sort of things if you're not in the space and not doing it. And those are the things that set people apart in different areas of expertise in the business. So ask a few complicated questions, guys, and if they can't give, I don't mean you, I mean anyone who you want to work with, ask a few complicated questions and see. And it's also, I say, people that are not prepared to come on lives, answer questions, that type of thing. Always be wary to kind of test the limits of the people that you want to work with, for sure. So shameless plug time, and then a couple more questions, and then I will let you go, Craig. So if anyone does want to get in contact with you, with yourself or Michael, that's why I wanted you both to come on at separate times. So, Michael, if you're still watching, I'd love for you to come on at some point and talk about your journey, which I'd imagine, I know you're partners, but, different perspective, different changes. So, I'll get in contact with Michael anyway. But if anyone wants to get in contact with you guys, what's the best place to do it? How can they get in contact with you? Go for it.
So if anyone's obviously interested in SaleFreaks, is obviously the Facebook group, or you can also reach out to me personally, or you can even go to SaleFreaks.com. I'll put the link somewhere, or Natalie, I presume. Go on the website. We've got live chat, obviously the emails and all that, all the stuff's on there. But anyone who's really interested, you can reach out to me personally if you want to. I can point you in the right direction. If you can't find other ways or means to contact us, please reach out. Yeah,
cool. Also, as well, the name SaleFreaks, where did that come? Do you know where it came from? I was just like looking at it and thinking, where did that come from?
No, it's something that is I've always known it as such. I've never known a different name for it. So we've been involved since, must be about 4 or 5 years now. We've been involved with it, and it's always been that. Like I say, it's been that for, I think, 12 years. Would you believe that, here's a fact for you, SaleFreaks was a partnered company with eBay up until about 6 years ago.
Wow.
They was actually a partner of eBay, and they actively encouraged dropshippers.
Wow, okay.
There's a useless fact for you. But yeah, so we've got pictures of the main events where SaleFreaks was promoted as a proper link to eBay. I think before they had a little things with dropshippers and stuff, but now they're known as the partnered people of eBay.
Yeah, awesome, good to know.
You used to like us at one point.
Yeah, absolutely. So what does the future look like, Craig? So now you've got your full time, you're out of that life, and in terms of the 9 to 5. Where do you see this going in the future? Do you set goals? Do you, what do you want? Where do you want this to go?
I think for me, as e-commerce, I'm never afraid of trying something new. And I think we mentioned at the start, something where I think you've got to have that mindset. So I think if something comes up in the next year, then also we'll have a go at it. We've got all the Etsy and Shopify and stuff. SaleFreaks is such a beast at the minute that it does take up quite a lot of time, as in, you know, we want to get the other suppliers in, we want to get all that other stuff in, which remember, as a user as well as an owner, for me, that's amazing, because that also widens my income stream as well as the company's income stream.
Yeah.
And obviously the people that are using the software, that gives them such a wider range. So for me, that's a big thing, improving SaleFreaks. But we've got so many things ongoing that we hadn't even mentioned. We've got Amazon FBA. I want to grow Amazon FBA and push that even further. Obviously grow that as more as I can. We've got the prep center that we're looking to move into a big warehouse soon, so I'm going to grow that. There's just so many things going on that for me, as long as it's all going well, and there's no major pitfalls, then I'll be happy, you know. So a few holidays away with the family and stuff, and we got plans. So yeah, bit of both, bit of family time and a bit of work time. You say we left the 9 to 5, but as entrepreneurs, we moved into the 24-hour day shifts, haven't we?
Oh, I know, it's hilarious. Anybody, I say this all the time. I say this all the time. I was out with my friends the other night, and they were like, "Wow, you must have so much time." And I'm like, "Believe me, you guys have got way more time than me." So my brother always says, "Can you take mum to this appointment? Can you do this? Because you know, you've got the time to be able to do it, and I've got a job." And I'm like, what? I've got way more time. And guess what? If you go and take some time off, you get paid for it. I don't. It's as simple as that. So, you know, it's definitely a big reality check when you get into for sure. So, well, thank you so much for your time today, Craig. It's been really interesting.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, you're welcome, for finding out about something that I think ultimately a lot of people had either kind of forgotten about, or you know, didn't think was plausible anymore, or whatever. So it's really good to be able to hear about it and hear about how it's changed your life. You know, a bit of a crazy journey.
You will always see the comment on Instagram, Facebook, wherever. For some reason, everyone wants to say dropshipping is dead. And you'll see that statement everywhere, okay? I've heard that statement for ever since I've been doing it, and it's probably stronger now than it's ever been. Yeah. But dropshipping is not dead. As long as you play by the rules and it's nothing dodgy, it's nothing untoward, so people are scared along those routes. It's a case of, as long as you do it right, there's no reason why it can't be a very successful income to work alongside your others as well. Amazon FBA and stuff. Just another string to your bow and another safety net for anyone who wants to get involved with, another income stream.
Do you know what? I think if everyone listened to what everyone was, all the doom and gloomers, FBA is dead, eBay's dead, drop shipping's dead, Etsy's dead, blah, 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 Facebook ads are dead. There's always a way, you know, there's always a way to be able to do it. And probably whoever's telling you it's dead is trying to sell you something else. That's what it comes down to generally. So can you just use the software to just, great question, Andrew. Can you just use the software just to identify hot selling products and then buy them wholesale if they didn't want to go down the dropshipping route?
You can do what you want. It's a case of, yes, it will identify products. It's the same as all the other softwares out there, you know. It's essentially doing the same thing. You're identifying hot selling products. So yes, you will find the items that are selling well, and it will give you that sort of information around. It will only flag things up, obviously, if it's sold X amount of times in a month. So if it's sold that many times, the chances are it's going to be a good thing. You're still going to have to go and find the wholesaler, because at the end of the day, we're sourcing from Amazon. We don't need to find the wholesaler. We're doing that. But there's nothing wrong with, if you want to do that, then I mentioned the prep center. I didn't really want to mention the prep center, but it's a case of, if you want to do wholesale, you go and find yourself a prep center that you can ship that to. And there's nothing wrong with you getting an eBay order and passing it on to whatever center you're using, and they can distribute that order for you. So it's the same sort of thing as Amazon FBA. It's just fulfilled, which is coming in, by the way, fulfilled by eBay, but that's a story for another day.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, no. I mean, well, fulfilled by eBay is one of those things that I feel like I've been talking about it for 10 years, waiting for it to come, but it will eventually come. As we know, obviously, most of the other platforms will follow that route in some way. So someone says, I use the eBay Prep Center. I think, was it blue, orange, or?
It was orange, whatever it was, wasn't it?
Oh, orange is something or other. That's Andrew. He uses that, the eBay Prep Center. Yeah, presumably that's the reason why asking those sort of questions. So yeah, absolutely. Orange, yeah. I don't know where blue orange came from. Sounds like a good name though, to be honest. Blue orange.
We even considered to We even considered sending physical stock into eBay, so that obviously our accounts are flagged for drop shipping. So we even tried at one point to say that, well, if we send physical products into, how can you flag us? Because you've got our stock, our physical products, and they weren't having it, they weren't biting. So we tried that route.
Hamza's just asked a quick question. I kind of don't want to go down that rabbit hole about the difference between your software and other people. Craig, if you don't mind, get in contact with Craig, and I'm sure he'll be more than happy to be able to go through that. Because like I said, we're already getting up to 90 minutes already. And I tell you what, definitely people are interested, Craig, because, I've been interested in this because, we've had no drop off in terms of the amount of people that have been tuning in to watch us this Tuesday lunchtime. So thank you so much for coming. We, jumping on, because I know what a busy guy you are. So really, really do appreciate it. Like I said, if anyone wants to get in contact, find out a little bit more about Craig and, the services and everything that he offers, feel free to get in contact with him. He's also in the ECOM, Inner Circle group as well. So, if you wanted to ask a question there and tag you or Michael or something, I presume that's okay as well.
Yep. Yeah. Appreciate you having me. Thank you for having me. It's been good.
Yeah, excellent. It always flies. It always goes.
You know what? I got more nervous about this, and I do coaching all the time and stuff, and speak to whatever. For some reason, all that leading up to this, all like, a bit of pressure, mate. I'm not.
I always say, even if you can't say two words, which I know I've spoken to you previously, Craig, I know you can put two words together. I was a bit worried how long this was going to go on for, to be perfectly honest. I know you like to talk as well. I said, even if you can't, don't worry, I can talk enough for two people, so it's absolutely fine. Thanks once again. It's Orange Connect. That's it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was called. So thank you so much. It's been really enlightening. Guys, we will be back same time next week. Well, Craig won't, unfortunately, but I will be here. We've actually got Anne coming on from Get Unsuspended. We're going to be talking about account health, which is going to be, I think, at a really pivotal time with the announcement last week of the new account metric points scoring system, which is going to be massive in the UK. We've had it in the US now for 6 months or so, something like that. And it really does. This is going to be a game changer for people in terms of having that peace of mind of not being able to kind of live on the knife edge of, potentially, losing your account overnight because, with the new point system, after a certain period of time of 6 months of good account health, you can potentially qualify for the Amazon account assurance, which means that if anything bad happens, they guarantee not to suspend your account straight away. So it's going to be a big game changer for that one. So Anne is going to come on and talk about some of the things you guys can do to make sure that you stay and keep your account health good, because like I said, if you're an Amazon seller, you'll definitely want to make sure that you qualify for that account assurance when it comes out, and get into the good habits of doing it now. So make sure that's going to be an unmissable one next week. So next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. Like I said, thanks once again, Craig. Really, really appreciate it. Guys, get in contact with him if you want to find out a bit more information. And have a great week, everyone. Take care.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.